Good Saturday, everybody. Meteorologist Greg Majewski back with you here in the North Georgia Majestic Weather Studios with your Talking Live Weather Update Special Edition here on your January the 24th, 2026. Well, things getting pretty interesting out there for this afternoon. The good news is we're not going to stay in this wintry garbage here for that long. We're going to have a warm surge for tomorrow, but then we got to deal with some brutally cold temperatures arriving for early next week. Now, before we get into this full update, if you're new here to the Talking Live Broadcast Channel Facebook page, please give us a follow. And if you're watching over on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit that notification bell so you're alerted for future weather updates. All right, let's go ahead and take a live look there in Chattanooga. We have some ice and some freezing rain in the area. We've got a little bit of wet weather out there this morning with some rains moving in, and the snows are really not that far away. An interesting radar signature I'll get to show you here in just a second. Looking quiet up there, Lake Chateau for the moment, but expecting some icing in that area as well, potentially, as we go into the overnight hours. Current watches and warnings still got the mostly the ice storm warnings there across North Georgia and East Tennessee, and winter storm warnings back over central portions of Tennessee, where it's snowing pretty good right now up toward the Nashville area. Looking at the local radar, again, seeing that on the radar. This is all snow back here, folks, all here to the west. You can see quite a bit of that. In fact, let's go ahead and take a live look out there on some of the cameras out there to get an idea of what you're seeing. And you can definitely see it is wet, it is stormy, and it is rainy out there. These roads are very, very slick, and hopefully folks will be staying off those roads because we darn sure don't want to have any accidents out there. It is very slick indeed. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the satellite imagery here, as we got a lot of moisture still to come in through our area, and we're probably going to see some pretty heavy rains as well for tomorrow. Now, because we're going to be seeing those heavy rains and the fact that we have all this cold air coming in so fast, we're going to have to deal with some serious black ice issues, I believe, heading into your Monday morning. So regardless of what happens here, we're going to see a lot of folks going to have to deal with some freezing conditions into Monday, into Tuesday. And I think a lot of school districts may be closed, most likely, for your Monday. So plan accordingly here. Now, as we go and look at our regional perspective here, look at the snows here. Looks like the American GFS may win out on this one. The European model was kind of keeping the snows further north, but a lot of central Tennessee, very cold, and with temperatures in the teens, that's probably going to stay all snow, folks, there across the central portions of the state as it's working its way down. Now, as we go ahead and take a look at our model data, we're going to go ahead and take a look here at the latest 3-kilometer NAM as we're going to watch this thing go on through here. Again, kind of watch that timestamp there. This is actually the high resolution model. I stand corrected. Sorry, I forgot I changed this over. So here we go, as we're going to be seeing that freezing rain across North Georgia. Then go over to rain, and then looks like we're going to see the rain switch all over here eventually going into your Sunday. With some pretty heavy rain at that. Then it's going to go on through. And then you got a little bit of snow on the backside of this. Look at it here toward Monday morning. There's still some snow flurries here coming into portions of East Tennessee a little bit as that cold air advection rushes on in here and kind of squeezes the atmosphere as a sponge. So wouldn't be surprised to see a few snow flurries there going into your Monday morning as that cold air rushes on in. Now, as far as the icing is concerned, let's go take a look at that. As you can see, it's still showing about a half to a quarter inch here around the Chattanooga area there as a possibility. So we need to just, folks just need to be careful of that. That's going to be an issue, and just know that you're going to have to deal with that icing. So that icing will be a bit of a problem, especially on the North Georgia side. That's significant icing up in there. Could be close to an inch in some locations. So please make sure that you adhere and stay off those roads until things begin to settle down. But that's going to take a while because it's going to stay cold behind this. All right, so let's look at your forecast maps. Watch the little timestamp there at top as we kind of go through this real quick as we go into the overnight hours. Again, a lot that wedge moves into position here, and that's going to set up that a lot of that freezing rain there coming up here into North Georgia here with that cold air coming down the east side of the Appalachians. We call that cold air damming. And then going into Sunday, that's going to linger. And then on Monday, we'll watch the system begin to slowly clear on out. And then on Monday morning, looks like we're just dealing with some very cold temperatures and some windy weather. We're talking about temperatures falling into the teens and 20s, and those wind chills will be down in the single digits, looks like. Now, on Tuesday morning, the wind should subside. We're going to have exceptional radiational cooling, and we're going to have a very cold night. A lot of single digits out there for Tuesday morning. And then Wednesday looking cold, Thursday looking cold, and we stay that way. Friday, the system here starts to stir up here out in the west, but it appears that this big old high here is going to take this energy and stir it right down into the Gulf. So it does not look like this is going to be a factor and be a problem, as it should stay out into the Gulf and should not become a major winter storm like the GFS was advertising yesterday. At least that's what we're looking at for right now. All right, so let's go ahead and look at your forecast here. Again, should be switching over, a bit of a mess overnight. Please stay off the roads for the overnight period. Wait till we get above freezing here, which will be for a lot of folks here across East Tennessee and most of North Georgia, except for the areas that are stuck into that cold air wedge on the other side of the mountains. So we're looking at 44, 31 there. Overnight lows here, again, not overly cold, upper 20s, low 30s here. And some of this will kind of bottom out depending on when that warm surge comes up, where the temperatures may actually start coming up toward dawn. So as we look at the daytime highs, we're kind of spiking here well into the 40s with some pretty decent heavy rains. I'm talking 1 to 2 inches, looks like very feasible across an area that definitely could use a little rain, that's for sure, like Lake Chautauqua, for example, showing those low lake levels there. All right, now regionally looking like this. These are not misprints, folks. I mean, look at the extremes across here. Jackson 27 and 71 in Mobile. Jackson's looking at winter, looking at freezing rain and sleet there. Same for Memphis. Snow up in Nashville at 24. 82, the warm spot there in Jacksonville, and 20 in Memphis. Wow, 62-degree temperature swing there across the area. And looking at your forecast here, as again, we're going 30-18. I put ice up there for black ice for Monday morning. I put the ice symbol on there, and it might be some more ice still hanging around come Tuesday as well. So just keep that in mind. Going for a low of about 10 in Chattanooga. I expect a lot of single digits there. We recover a little bit, boy, but look at Friday and Saturday. Still in the 30s and teens. So a very cold week ahead here across East Tennessee and North Georgia. And we got to get through the ice storm. Now, folks across East Tennessee, the icing shouldn't be that severe. But again, if it gets above a 1/4 inch, you're going to be running into some potential power disruptions. You get over 1/2 inch, you're definitely going to get that, which some parts of North Georgia are definitely going to see here over the next 24 to 36 hours. And then we got to deal with the very frigid temperatures. That's probably the bad part of this, is the fact that we're not going to warm up and get a chance to really dry out and get all this ice out of here for some people. It's going to be sticking around here for a little while. Again, I appreciate you guys checking us out here on this special edition. We don't typically do these on the weekend, but in light of the active weather, we needed to do an update here for you guys today. Again, I appreciate you guys checking us out here on the Talking Live Broadcast Channel Facebook page. Please give us a follow. And over on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you're alerted on future weather updates. All right, that's it for now. Don't know if I'll be back on Monday. I'm in Northeast Georgia, where I'm located at, and we're expecting a pretty serious ice storm where I'm at. I might lose power for a few days. We'll see. All right, if I'm able to get back here on Monday, I'll see you guys on Monday. You guys have a great weekend, and please be safe out there.